Hey, welcome back. We're gonna take a look at some Talon grips today. Got the Talon grip Pro texture for my Taurus GX4XL. I guess it's just for the GX4. There's nothing different about the grip for the XL version of this firearm. And I got the texture also that fits the extended base plate for the 13 round magazine. So we're going to apply both of these today, and it just usually want to lay the grip on the gun or the magazine in this case, just to see how it's going to fit before you peel off the backer. So that's what I did here. This is a small enough piece where I just pull the backer completely off. And I think I have an idea. I'll just center it up on the front of the base plate and wrap it around. And I find if you just gently press the thing into place, it's a lot easier to peel up, and if you need to reposition it. So I just kind of gently lay it down where I think it needs to be, and then examine it, and sure enough, I didn't lay it down centered. So you peel it up, lay it back down again, and just kind of gently press it into place. Now I found that with these, they make them a little bit oversized, and I don't know if that's intentional to have you overlap the texture, and maybe that gets a good grip on a better grip on the gun or the magazine in this case, or if they expect you to trim it. I'm not sure, but in this go around, I'm just going to let it overlap. So you see, you just press it into place and test fit it out, make sure it looks and feels good, and it does. And then we'll set that aside, and we'll hit it with a hairdryer later. Alright, so we'll get the main grip panel here and see if we can place this on. Oh, that's upside down. Okay, that's nope. Now you get it on backwards. Right side up, but backwards. Come on. You can do this. There you go. Got it laid on there correctly. Now, see, if you're a little brighter than me, you might look at the directions, but I'm kind of opposed to using directions whenever possible, so I fumble about a bit sometimes. So just test fitting it on here before we peel the backer off again. And again, we got some overlap. The right side panel is it has the piece that wraps around the front, and it will overlap with the panel on the left. We'll take the little alcohol wipe that it comes with, and these things are almost comical. They're so small. But it does have a fair bit of alcohol in it, and it did come with a grip panel, so it is intended to be used for this purpose. I didn't just dig this out of a drawer somewhere. But the issue I had with it is, now you're seeing I'm having to pick up a bunch of lint, because the texture on the gun is already pretty good, and it kind of bites into that little alcohol pad. And it falls apart, so you got to get all that little lint off of there. And we'll wait for the alcohol to dry a little bit. Doesn't take long. And now I forgot it's upside down. Okay, there we go, figured it out. And trying to figure out what piece I'm going to put on first. And I decide to go with the left side panel. And we'll have that front strap that wraps around laying on top where it overlaps. So the front piece is going to wrap around the front of the gun, and it's going to overlap on the left side of the grip. So with a bigger piece like this, you want to peel back just part of the backing on it. At least that's what's worked best for me. And then you can carefully lay things down and not get a bunch of dust and debris on the back of the grip adhesive. And just take your time with it. It's not like paint or something. You don't have to worry about it drying out. It's not like working with epoxy. And again, the adhesive is not very strong, so you can peel it up and take a look at where it fits. Talon does a really good job of cutting these out to fit some key lines that are on the gun, or at least in this case. The grip has a bunch of little angles and lines where the textures start and stop, and they did a nice job about cutting this grip adhesive to fit all those little cuts, or a bunch of those little cuts, and then that helps you place it correctly so that it's all centered up. There you go. Once you get it started, it's pretty easy to pull the rest of it off. I wasn't real happy with the way it was lining up with that ejector, the back side of the eject button for the magazine. But you just work it around a little bit, and the grip adhesive, the grip tape, whatever you want to call this stuff, it does stretch a little bit, so you got to be careful that you don't stretch it out of shape. I tend to want to, as you're forcing it into position, it kind of it's easy to allow it to stretch. You just got to be kind of gentle with it because it's cut so that you shouldn't have to really stretch it. There you see I'm kind of pushing it, trying to stretch it a little bit, and it will move. I found that over time it can stretch its way back into place though, so all that stretching is probably going to come back to bite me later. Go wrapping it into place, and not quite 100% sure I'm going to overlap, and then I go for it. Go ahead and just overlap it. I was thinking about whether or not, do I want to cut it or let it overlap? Nah, just overlap. And I have cut these in the past, and that works out fine too, but I figured I'd just try it overlapping it this time and leaving it as it came from the factory. There we go, test fit it out. Put the magazine in, test fit it. Yeah, feels good. Then I notice there's a little bump on the back strap there. You see where it didn't quite stick down all the way? As it turns out, I don't think that's a huge deal. Once you heat it up and the glue gets activated on the back, it sticks down pretty well. So that's about it. You hit it with a hairdryer and you're good to go. See you next time, guys. Stay safe out there. Bye. Okay, just want to mention a couple quick things about these Talon grips. They do come in 3 textures, in case you don't know. They have the just a rubberized grip. They have the Pro texture, which is what I prefer. And then they have the granulate, which is kind of like sandpaper or grip tape. I picked the Pro texture. I've had experience with the rubberized grip, but not the grip tape version, not the sandpaper texture. I don't prefer that. And it's kind of like Goldilocks, you just pick from the 3 whichever you think is the best. The other thing I want to mention is about how long these last. So they do wear out. It's not going to last you forever. the grip handles for me last about 2 years. Now that's daily wear, so I'm wearing it in a holster every day, but it's not getting a lot of heavy use. I'm not taking it out, throwing it around, rolling in the dirt. I'm not working it hard. It's just it riding in a holster, rubbing up against clothing and up against your body, and that's about it. And like I say, they last about 2 years for me. I guess if you're using it pretty hard, it may only last you about a year, but just be mindful that you are eventually going to want to replace these. You could probably stretch it and get more than 2 years out of it. I know in my case I could have, but they get to looking kind of nasty, and I don't know. I try to keep things as nice and neat as reasonable. So anyway, plan to replace them probably about once every couple years. If that doesn't suit your budget, or if you think that's not good enough quality for you, man, maybe these are not for you. But they work great for me. I like them. I'll continue to buy more. Thanks, Talon. Stay safe out there, guys. Bye.